Hi, it's Julie here at Great Golf Solutions. Today's video lesson, we actually want to start now talking about the swing. We've touched on and in detail we've talked about the grip, the stance, your setup, alignment, and ball position. And now I want to go ahead and start talking about the swing, but I want to break it down so you can get a good understanding and a good feel of what to look for, what to feel in your swing. Because I mean, anyone could just go ahead and say, oh, you got to swing your arms back and through, and this is how you finish. But a lot of people want to know, okay, break it down for me. So what I want to do is we're going to break it down, and today we're going to talk about the takeaway. And so let me just briefly go back over. We're going to real quickly talk about the grip. Remember, as a right-handed player, we're assuming everyone's right-handed. We're going to take the grip, and we're going to place it a little bit diagonal across the base of your fingers. You're going to feel a pressure point here in the crook of your finger, and then in the pad, the top pad of your left hand, you're going to get that right on top, the pad, you're going to feel that, and your thumb is going to go, and it's going to be just slightly right of center on your grip. You're going to have the good V right here that's going to point up to your, just right of your chin, to your right shoulder. You're going to see the first two knuckles on your left hand. And as your right hand comes in, it's going to overlap and sit right over that left thumb, and the left thumb is going to sit right in the lifeline of your right palm. And remember, we talked about the 3 different grips: the overlap, the interlock, or the 10-finger grip. So it's up to you to decide. I preferably would encourage everyone to either try the interlock or the overlap. Stay away from the 10-finger unless you're a true beginner or you have really small hands. It's just so hard to keep your hands together and work as one. And just one more thing about the grip: as you set up, the V of your right hand and the V of your left hand are going to be pointing in the same direction, and your palms are going to feel parallel. And so they're going to be facing each other. And where this is going to be really important is now as you start to swing. So let's talk about the swing just real briefly, the takeaway. Get the hands on the club. We get set up, get in our good setup position. Remember, good angles at your knees, your hips, and your back has a good angle. And one thing I didn't mention, but if you keep your chin aligned with your spine like I talked about, it's really hard to feel anyway, but you want to make sure your shoulders are square. So you just don't want to be hunched over. But the only way you really could be hunched over is if you drop your head. So we talked about keeping your head up and in line with the spine. So as we get set up to the ball, good grip, good setup. Now as we take the club back and we start with the takeaway, what I'd like to get you to feel is that the arms right here are going to form a triangle. And then the tip of the triangle is not necessarily so much my hands, but really the club head. So as your arms form a triangle, and think of the tip of the triangle going to be your club head, you want to keep those all intact. So as you take the club away, you take it away right here, and as you can see, as I take my shoulders away, my hips will just slightly rotate. One other thing is, as I take it away, I'm going to take it away in one piece. So my hands are going to be pretty quiet. They're just pushing the club away right here. What you want to guard against is this type of motion. Breaking your wrist really quickly because you haven't started any type of rotation. So I have my students think of pushing away with their left shoulder and left arm, and they're going to push the club here. And that keeps this right arm quiet in the swing. Now, some people will say, I've heard people talk about pushing the club away, and there's a lot of contradictions to that. Well, I'm a firm believer, and this is going to get you in a good solid position right here, and then the rest of your swing can just be a rotation. You don't have to think about or feel anything more with your arms and your hands. But if you've heard somebody say push it away and you've struggled with getting in the right position, then this is what I want you to consider. When I push away, what you'll notice is my body stays right over the ball. I'm just turning around my spine. People who struggle with the concept of pushing away and getting out of sorts or out of place in their swing are the people that are doing this. They're pushing away and letting their body sway over to their right side. So think of your spine being stuck in the ground. So it's an extension being stuck in the ground. And you want to do everything you can to just twist around that spine. So as I take the club away, I'm going to get right here. And as I look down my shaft, what I want to see is that my club face is square. So the toe is pointing up, and my club is parallel to the ground, or pretty parallel to the ground. So as I take it away, I'm going to push with my left shoulder. I'm going to get my hands here. As I push with my left shoulder and get right here, I'm twisting around my spine. My toe is pointing up, so my club face is square, and my club is parallel to the ground. And if I look down that way, it's pointing down my target line. So work on this takeaway, because this is a good first step in your swing. And if you can get the takeaway down, what you'll learn later is the rest of the backswing is just going to be a rotation. So work on that on the driving range, and let's get on with the next lesson.